You'll see it occasionally, like one judge, but I've only seen a whole table come across where everybody agreed it was over 45 like once. So most of them fall in the street middle ranges. Competition overview. Alright, so we talked about this a little bit already. It is a category that's best of show competition. So it's like a dog show, right? They judge all the hounds, they judge all the working dogs, and then they move into the best of show. So the way our competition will work, we come in, start the first round at 9 o'clock. Everybody will get to their flights. We usually try to wrap it up before lunch, and we'll judge about half the categories. Come back after lunch, we'll do the other half the categories, so we get a new set of beers to drink in the afternoon. At the end of the day, we've awarded first, second, third, and all of those categories that we broke it up into, and all the first place winners move on to a best of show, which a smaller subset of usually the highest ranking judges in the room will do the best of show at the end to judge an overall winner. And we may do that separate for meads and ciders, depending on how many you got. I still got to look at all that stuff to see, but that's sort of how it works. So the competition, we schedule, we plan it out ahead of time, so we talk about what's allowed. We allow everything pretty much in ours. Some competitions may limit, they may do certain styles, so there may be certain rules around those. We open ours up pretty well. The combination of it with something that I'll have to do as the main judge coordinator, because we got to figure out what we got and make it balanced, right? So we get one German lager and 50 IPAs. Well, we can't. We got to find something. We usually don't combine them. We try to combine things only if we have to in a logical block. We may combine German lagers and amber German beers and something like that, so that they're kind of good enough to make a category. The judging and jury times, again, for this competition, I'll be doing that because I'm going to be the main judge person. Again, can't stress this enough. If you sign up and you've not done this before, you will be paired with somebody who has. So don't be intimidated by the fact you've not done it before. You will have somebody that will walk you through it. 99% of the people that judge beer are wonderful people and just like talking about beer, and they'll be happy to sit there and walk you through it. So, great. Yeah, multiple sessions going on with we'll have about 2.5 hour block for each session probably, is about what we try to do. Idealistically, people are done in about 10 minutes per beer. Some people are slower than that, some people are faster, depending on how many beers in your flight, how push you gotta go. But we've done this enough that we're pretty good with it, we're pretty efficient with it, and it usually runs well. Just some roles and things you may hear. You may hear the term head judge thrown around. It typically is referring to the most experienced judge at the table. So when you're doing a flight, there's usually hopefully three judges. The head judge is just sort of the person who's in charge of sort of organizing the flight and making sure things are coming and going and helping with the rules, helping guide the people who haven't done it before, that kind of thing. You may also hear the sort of the judge curator, judge coordinator, that's where we use judge coordinator, called head judge, but that they usually refer to the person who's running it, which is in this case me. Which means I'll be sort of in charge of organizing all the judging and coming up with pairings and all that kind of stuff. And if there's a question or comments or concerns or complaints, they come to me and I got to deal with it. So, or if there's a disagreement at the table or something, I would break the tie kind of thing. That usually doesn't happen, but typically we're talking to head judge at the time at the table. Judge is just any judge with a BJCP rank. So hopefully we'll have multiple BJCP judges at the table. And then they may say non-BJCP, referring to the non-BJCP judge, so hear that. Steward is the other term you probably heard us throw around. What that person is a very important role. They're the person who helps the judges and makes sure they got everything they need. So the primary goal is they bring the beers out, and they bring them out in the order that they are asked for by the judge. So in some categories they may order them based on strength or additions. Like if you're doing something that's got fruit and spices and stuff, you may want to order them such that they won't be obtrusive of each other, that kind of thing. Or it may be that they're organizing multiple flights, which we'll talk about in a second. But their main goal is to get the beer to the table so that the judges have the next beer when they're ready for it and that the beer's ready to go. But they also, anything that they need help with, right? You need pencils, you run out of bread, you need more water, anything like that, they're helping out with. They usually double check the calculations on the score sheets because people have been drinking and math gets hard. So they'll double check that before they go to the final table for calculations and stuff, just to make sure that we're in sync because we want to make sure our scores all add up. A couple things to know. If you enter, you won't judge your own category. The system is set up to prevent me from doing that, so I won't assign it that way. We will assign judges to the flights. The flights are combined. We talk about usually by category, but there may be multiple categories. If there's not enough entries, we'll combine stuff together. And the one sort of thing I was talking about, if you're doing 2 flights. So we may have acute judging. We almost certainly will for some categories. IPAs, specialty IPAs. There's so many entries, one set of judges can't judge them all. And so we use a process called acute judging, where the steward will have 20 beers in their cooler. And there'll be a set of 3 judges and a set of 3 judges, and they'll bring 1 beer to each one. And as they finish, they bring them the next beer, whichever's next in order. So that they go through them all. And ultimately they'll get done, and this set of judges will do half the beers, and this set of judges will do half the beers. And then they'll come together with the top 2, 3 beers of each of those set of 10, and they'll do a mini best of show. And so usually what happens there is you'll have 6 judges at the table, you'll pare down to 3. So typically the 2 head judges are the most experienced, and then whoever of the other 4 that either want to or are qualified the most to do it, depending on how he wants to do it, we'll get together. They'll just do a mini best of show. You don't rescore it, you don't have to refill out a score sheet or anything. It's just to learn, to taste them again, compare, contrast, pick your first, second, third, and be done with it. So if you hear us talking about a mini best of show or a Q judging, that's what we're doing, right? That's because there's so many entries in that category. You can't break IPAs into 2 categories, so you still want to do one big category, but you got to do it separate. You got to have multiple sets. All right. Questions before we move on to the actual score sheet?